All right, guys, this is a 1993 Corvette. We're changing out the battery here. So what we want to do is we want to pop the hood open here. Hood release is down under here. So pop that open, lift open the hood, and our battery is right here on the driver's side. And you can see how there's not much clearance here. You've got a vacuum pump, you've got like a computer module here. Only way to get this battery out is we got to remove this panel here. And there's a couple screws. We're going to remove this one here, 10 millimeter. A few right here inside of the wheel well. These are a Torx bit, looks like a T27. We'll remove those. And then there's one that's kind of sneaky, and I'll show you where that's going to be at here when we get to that part. But there's a 10 millimeter bolt that we slightly loosen right here. Take that panel off, and then we can get to the battery and the hold down. There's a block that holds this down. Now to get these 3 screws off inside of the wheel well liner here, I'm just using this little, it's kind of like a small clearance with a T27 bit. If you turn the wheel, you could turn the wheel out of the way, and then you could get just like a impact or a screwdriver type. But I'm just using this here, and this just ratchets those out. So I'm gonna take all 3 of those out first. All right, got those removed there. And now I'm gonna get the top bolt right here. We got this loosened here. Want to loosen up this 10 millimeter bolt. Now there's another 10 millimeter we want to loosen. This is where you want to get a 10 millimeter open-ended wrench. And it's right underneath the panel here. There's a little gap. You can see it right there. Just a 10 millimeter wrench. All right, with that loose, this one just takes a couple of turns to just get it loose. And then this, we just want to carefully kind of wiggle this panel out. Like that. Okay, we actually want to take that bolt out of the top here, and then we can wiggle this out. Okay, our bottom screw right here, it loosens and it pinches this area right here. So it really just clamps this area. You just take this cover here, set it aside like that. Okay, with the battery exposed now, you can see there's not a lot of room right here, but there is a little block here, and it clamps down the battery so it doesn't move. So that's just a 13 millimeter socket, and we're gonna need to get an extension on there to get that out. Right, here's this block here. I got a 13 millimeter socket on it. I got an extension on my impact driver. I'm just gonna loosen this up here. All right, just loosen that up. Okay, the block is now loose. Block off first, so that way I can move the battery back a little bit to get a little more access. So this is the orientation here. It goes in with the long side against the battery there. So now what I can do is I can move this battery a little bit. And these are an 8 millimeter. All right, the best way to get these terminals off, it's just an 8 millimeter ratcheting wrench right here, and you just get these on here. We want to take this negative off first. We're just going to ratchet this off. You always want to take the negative off first. Yeah, that's disconnected. That one's easy. And then we can move the battery. So I can move the battery back a little bit. That's going to give me a little more clearance. And we're going to get the positive. Ratcheting wrenches are the way to go here within this tight clearance area. So get you one of these. This is the way to go here. Positive and negative both off. I'm going to pull the battery out. All right, you can see here's our battery tray with the battery removed. All right, we have found an equivalent one. This one's like from Sam's Club here, Group 75. 850 cranking amps, and then cold cranking amps, 690. So it's got pretty good specs on it. It's got a 3-year warranty on it. So just push it back in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of reverse the operation. I'm gonna put the positive on first. Positive on first, then the negative, then I'll put the hold down point here. This is gonna allow me to have a little more access here. So right there, I'm gonna move the battery a little out of the way to get the positive on, and then I'll ratchet that on with the ratcheting wrench. All right, we got our positive nice and tight. Sounds like our headlight motors. So we got power on there. Just gonna ratchet this down here. These can have a parasitic draw on them. And so this could be a good time if you wanted to hook up a battery tender to this. You could hook up a battery tender to the leads here, where you could just, have it and you disconnect it. If you're not driving it a whole lot, if you're starting it up every week or so, it's going to be fine. But if you're letting it sit for longer than that, you might want to have some kind of a battery tender to keep it charged up. Okay, those are now tight on there. You don't want to crank them too hard, just make sure they're snug. Here, this is the orientation. It's going to go like this. So it's going to just pinch against the lip of the battery. I'm just gonna get it started by hand and then get my impact driver and just tighten that down. All right, I got the panel put up here. I'm gonna put these bolts back in, the one here, but I wanna get this one first down here. The panel slides in above the washer, so you wanna make sure that this bolt is loose enough so the panel can slide in there. And then once it's slid in there, I'm gonna get the rest of the bolts in, and I'll come back afterwards and adjust that and tighten that down. These screws on the wheel well here, I'm just starting them by hand, and I'm making sure that the hole kind of lines up there. Look good there. And then I'll tighten those down. Got all three of those screwed down, and now I'm just gonna tighten this bolt right here. Now I find it helpful to use the wrench with this closed end because it's kind of angled a little bit, and so I'm basically going from the front to the back. That's how we're tightening there, so it's pretty snug right there. Okay, we're good to go. All right, got it all buttoned up. Everything looks good to go. And let's get this thing fired up and see how it sounds. All right, the car sounds great, ready to go. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.